and to leave the faith I myself took many, many years ago. Over a decade ago, I was an employee working a 9-to-5 job. I was doing marketing in the tech space, largely in web hosting. And I found so many situations where I just didn't have agency and autonomy and control over my own work, over my own energy, and over the choices and decisions that were being made that were crossing some of my ethical boundaries, let's say. And I found myself at a crossroads where I had to decide my own destiny. What was I going to do? Continue to work in a situation where I felt compromised, where I felt angry, where I felt agitated, and where I felt unfulfilled, unrewarded, and drastically underpaid? Or was I going to take that leap of faith? Was I going to finally live my principles, and was I going to go out into the world and create something awesome each and every day that I was proud to put my name on? Was I going to finally build the business and be an employer that I would want to work for? Was I going to finally take control over my life? And that was the decision that I had to make. And fast forward, it was a very good decision. It was a very good decision. And led not only to making multiple six figures, doing very well for myself over the last decade, but it also led me to the best relationships and friendships that I could have hoped for, because I was in a position to not only find like-minded people who shared my interests, passions, and hobbies, but like-hearted people that shared my values. And that's something that we gain when we end up building a community, and more than that, when we attract a tribe. You know, they say your vibe attracts your tribe, and I believe that. And I've stopped telling people to grow audiences and build audiences, and I've started telling them to attract your tribe. Attract those like-minded people who share your interests, but also don't stop there. Attract like-hearted people who share your values and your principles. And in order to do that, you have to embrace what is my 2025 theme. I've declared 2025 the year of rebellion. And what rebellion means isn't being a rowdy, snotty brat. It means being bold, authentic, and unapologetic about who you are. And I think that that is one of the most important things that you can do, more than video production, more than video editing, and yes, please God, dear God, good audio. But you need to bring big creator energy. You need to show up and show out. And part of that is having the confidence and conviction in the things that you're making and that you're doing, and knowing that you are not holding back any longer, that you are putting your best foot forward, that you are doing everything you can, and you're not phoning it in because you're afraid to fail. And then you can say, well, I didn't really try that hard anyway, or, oh, I'm a smaller creator. No, bring that big creator energy. Show up as if you're worth $1 million and watch it manifest. Now, to do that in 2025, I'm sure all of you have heard about the rumblings regarding TikTok, Gen Z's favorite short-form viral sensation that may or may not be going away, most likely is going away. But regardless of what happens, you need to have ownership in the same way that I wanted ownership over my time, my energy, and my relationships, and what I get to do and what I put my name on when I left my 9-to-5 career. You need to take ownership, because if you rely on platforms strictly for your income and strictly for the access to the audience and community that you built, if you let algorithms gatekeep you, you're no better than a digital sharecropper. Yeah, I said it. So the reality, unapologetic, authentic, bold, let's get it. And so you need to take control of your income, and you need to diversify your income streams. A big part of this going into 2025, there's more and more companies and brands, even many of them that were here in the expo hall that we all love dearly, are embracing influencer marketing, and a big part of that is user-generated content, UGC partnerships. They want to work with micro and nano influencers, just like many of you here, and some of you are macro influencers, and some of you are absolute rock stars and are mega influencers, or on the way to being that. And so, a lot of them want you to be the face and representation of their brand on social media, and frankly, some of you just make better content than them anyway. So, rather than hiring inauthentic people who don't represent the values of the consumer, have never used the product, rather than hiring, some spokesmodel, They just want to work with people who dearly love their brand and have already been part of their community. That's your opportunity to be a UGC creator, and that's going to be one of the big plays for controlling your income in 2025 as a content creator, because you get to be a spokesperson and work with your favorite brands. And the best part is, you're not being paid for your own reach. They already have an audience. They just are connecting with them as authentically as you can. And that's why your authenticity matters, is because it allows you to represent your community, and they're going to root for you when you take those brand deals and when you're representing their favorite company or bringing them on a journey that encourages them to finally take their leap of faith. So that's a huge opportunity. Another one here is many of you who here, I know most of you have to have already started your podcast. Who has embraced video for their podcast? Show of hands, keep it up. Video. Finally, about time. Look around, y'all. Look, keep them up, look around. About time. You got 75% of the audience finally the video. Let's clap it up for that today. So what that means is you need to be in the YouTube Partner Program. I've made so many videos to help you with this on my own YouTube channel. I'm really here to see you creators win. And I want by next year, every single one of you to be in the YouTube Partner Program, getting a paycheck on the 21st of the month from YouTube every single month. But guess what? Wait, there's more. Spotify decided to catch up. Spotify decided to match and parity the YouTube Partner Program and share up to 50% of that revenue with creators, and is going to be able to allow you to do direct insert ads on video podcasts, and wait, there's more, audio podcast inserts as well, directly on the platform. And you can go ahead, if you have a video episode of your podcast, they will let you hot swap and replace the current audio episode and have both formats. And wait, there's more. They're encouraging you to use short form highlights to promote your content as well. And they're letting you host 100% for free, just like YouTube. You get to double dip. Isn't that exciting? Yeah. Let's clap it up. But I just said, don't depend on these platforms. These platforms aren't loyal. So, I want you guys to be repurposing your content. You should all, every one of you, be media mercenaries. It's work time, y'all. So, and some of you have a mouth, and a lot of you will get that reference. Yeah, there we go. Deadpool reference, come on. But we're going to be repurposing our content. You should repurpose on as many platforms are as willing to pay for content, and even the ones that aren't necessarily directly paying and monetizing with ad revenue are an opportunity for you to grow your email list and then be able to make direct offers to your audience and to connect with them. So you still should be posting, if for no other reason, to grow your reach, your reputation, and your revenue downstream of your email list or you having a direct offer. And I encourage more of you, especially who here is not an influencer doing entertainment, but is a thought leader trying to share their expertise. Show of hands and keep those up and look around. You're not alone. Look around. More than half of you in the room. Okay, keep your hands up if you've already made your irresistible offer. Excellent. And how many of you are using multiple platforms and short form content to directly promote your irresistible offer? Keep your hands up if you're doing that. Excellent. And that's what you should be doing. More of you should be doing it. The next time I'm on one of these stages, I want to see every single one of these hands raised. No excuses. I will not accept that. So, I want more of you to make irresistible offers, but I want more of you to realize that there is a signal to noise problem out there that you've probably been experiencing yourself. And just like we have this wonderful community here at Podfest, the reality is this community is great partly because it's been curated, because it is something that requires an investment, because it's something that requires a commitment. You have to show up, you have to be present. A lot of you had to hop on a plane, just like I did to be here. You had to suffer the 2 to 3 hours in the airport, and then you had to suffer debate fighting for that damn aisle seat. So, you're me. So, with that in mind, I want to encourage you to build private membership communities. Private membership communities are not the future. They're the past, the present, the future, and so on, because they work. Because there's a signal to noise ratio, and the reality is they only have to be your 100 to 1,000 truest fans, and that will be more enough with the right community, with the right offering, with the right value that each of you can create to build you a six-figure brand, a six-figure business. That's exactly what I did with Awesome Creator Academy. And the thing is, it's the thing that I know more than anything as a creator, ultimately gives me the place and the peace where I know that I'm making the most impact and the most value I'm delivering is with those people that I'm spending each and every week with in my academy. All of you should consider how you want to spend your time and who you value and what you share. And you should be building these private communities where you have those like-minded, like-hearted people, and they should end up being the priority of your time, rather than chasing views and likes that benefit a platform more than it benefits you or benefits your people. Yeah, I said it.
Speak.
And so, make those irresistible offers. Do not be afraid to speak directly to your audience and sell directly to your audience. They should get to a point to where they believe in what you do, and the only question is whether they can afford it. And with your help, they should be able to do that too. Diversify your income portfolio. Now this one's actually really important because we talked about this, but I wanted to make it really clear with this diagram with regard to platform revenue. And so you want also to have direct control through being able to sell directly to your audience with your products and services. But you can replace your 9-to-5 income very readily if you do sponsorships in UGC. Whether you're promoting on your platform, your podcast, and selling those inventory slots, or you're doing UGC partnerships and representing brands. For all of you to be full-time, I already know that it's going to take $5,000 to $10,000 a month of reliable income for you to take that leap, for many of you to go full-time. Here's my simple answer to that issue. If you, through sponsorships, and UGC can just get 3 to 5 clients, and you can bill them $1,500 to $2,500 a month and get a 6 to 12 month contract commitment from them. And for you guys, that'll just be a matter of how many deliverables, how many inserts in the podcast, how many promos in the email list, how many shout outs on social media. It's agency time. Think of yourself as an agency of one. If some of you are lucky enough to be married, you can be an agency of two. So, if you have the opportunity to have these inserts, and a lot of you, since you do long form, you can have more than one sponsor in an episode, it's ideal for you to go out and pursue getting 3 to 5 recurring 6 to 12 month contracts. That's your answer. That is how you're going to go ahead and take the leap into full time. It's just a matter of fulfillment once you have those contracts in place. Do not wait for them to come to you. You should already be making your dream list, whether it's a dream 20 or a dream 100 list, Russell Brunson. If you can go ahead and say who is a hell yeah versus a hell no when it comes to working with sponsors, you shouldn't be waiting for people to come to you. You should already know who you want to say hell yeah to, and you should be doing everything in your power to pursue those relationships. You should start advocating for those brands and showing them that you can create value and that you're a strong part of their community before you even ask to be paid. That way, when it's your time and you show up, their answer is a hell yeah too. It's either a hell yeah or a hell no. There's nothing in between. Do or do not. There's no try. So, that's the answer. And you guys need to go ahead and embrace a little bit of use your aggressive feelings, reach out to the brands, offer them value. Yes, use your aggressive feelings, use the dark side, do prospecting, generate actual relationships, and pursue the brands. Don't wait for them to come to you, don't wait for them to swipe right. So, there we go. And as I said, memberships, the great thing about memberships and subscriptions is monthly recurring revenue and knowing that you're independent of the platforms. So UGC lets you have off-platform revenue, memberships let you have off-platform revenue, products and services let you have off-platform revenue, your sponsorships and your ad revenue from platforms, that is something that is the nice to have. And the thing is, if you have enough things outside of it, you're not on the hustle treadmill forever, and you're not sitting here having to be burnt out just to pay your bills. This is a way to create boundaries and balance by having more than enough income streams that exist outside of the demands of the platform. And so if a platform has issues, policy changes, government decides to smack it down, you're not in panic mode. These are contingency plans. This is how you become Batman. I'm Batman. So, I want to give you guys some straight up actionable steps here. Feel free to take screenshots. This will also be in your slide presentation over on the website. But the main thing here is I want you to directly take action. I want you to build systems, and we're going to talk really quickly about AI. And then, by the way, I will answer any and all of your questions after this in the hall. And if they let me, because I don't know what we have right after, but if they let me, I'll sit up here and I'll answer questions all day. But if I can't, I'll be in the hall. But I want you to embrace AI tools. A lot of people have an anti-AI attitude, and I understand where a lot of creative people are coming from, but I don't think AI is a replacement, at least not yet. I used to make a joke, and I used to say at these presentations 10 years ago, and I think there's recordings of this even from previous Podfest. Some of you who are longtime attendees will remember me saying this. I always said that the Terminator will not kill you on the battlefield of 2045. He'll kill you in the job market of 2025. The prophecy is fulfilled. And I said that jokingly back then, and then I feel a little bad that it's actually come to pass. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you embrace the technology just as you always have, everyone here has been an early adopter to technology at some point in their life. Everyone here has been on the bleeding edge, and everyone here has blazed a trail forward when others were left behind. This is no different. The AI revolution doesn't have to leave you behind. You can embrace it, you can be at the forefront of it, but you also, by doing that, get a stake in making sure it's done responsibly, and that's done as fairly as possible. And the thing is, I know a lot of people don't believe that, but the reality is that all of us are going to decide how these things play out, the way that we choose to use it, what we're willing to accept, and what we demand when it comes to these companies as their users. Because ultimately, the AI relies a lot more on our decision making and how we use it and how we train it than it does on the decisions from big corporate. So I want you to make sure that these tools are working for you instead of against you. You have to embrace them, and you have to figure out what it is that you're trying to achieve. It's my belief that anyone who uses this will basically be like Captain America. You'll get a super soldier serum upgrade here. If you put good things into AI, good things can come out. Garbage in, garbage out. So the thing is, everyone here has a distinct advantage because it works really good if you're already smart. So embrace the technology. As I said, when it comes to sponsorships, these are just a couple of the opportunities that exist because many of you may not be familiar with UGC and sponsorships, but it is the primary way that creators make their income. And this also gets you to not be as dependent on the advertising side of the platform. So again, if you use that QR code or you go to awesomecreatoracademy.com/slides, the presentation, I think you do have to put www into the URL, but the presentation will be there and you'll have this, but you can just screenshot it really quick before we move on. Still got a little bit to go here. For those of you who are still trying to figure out what you want to create and still finding your why, or are struggling with making all of this work together, and how do I monetize my passion, or what if there's not an audience for that? I know we've all said in the past, follow your passions. But the thing is, we gave you half correct information on that. When it comes to your passions, what you really need to do is you need to play to your strengths. You need to be fueled by your passions. Your passions are your fuel, but your strengths will lead you to victory. You need to lean into things that naturally and authentically fit for you. And the thing is, when it comes to your passions, the market of people for that are the people who feel the same way as you do. It's the people who not only share your interests, but feel the same way about those things. You know, we might all hopefully be Star Wars fans, but we ain't all fans of the same era of Star Wars. Some of us are prequel fans, some of us are original trilogy OG fans, some of us are sequel fans, and it is what it is. But the main thing is, you have to find your fit, and your fit in the market is the people who are passionate about something in the same way that you are. And then in terms of your skill set, how do you use your skills to bring value to that community that you love being a part of? So when it comes to your passions, you should be a part of and build for a community that you really care about and that you like showing up for. That's going to counter your burnout. But you also want to feel like you're bringing real value, and that's what's going to make you stand out. And so your skills and how you show up, that's going to matter a lot. It's not, it's not as good to be passionate about something and then just really be terrible at it. It's not a lot of value there. It's like, you could be a passionate enthusiast, but even that is about how you show up. It does require some skill to present that well. And then finally, when it comes to monetization, you want to feel rewarded for the things you're doing. It doesn't do any good for you to show up, create all this value, work your heart out, and then feel like your life isn't getting any better. You need to study people who have done this successfully and the people who have come before you, and you'd be surprised how many of them are willing to give you advice, willing to throw a helping hand, or even willing to share their stage with you or elevate you in some way, or at least give you a nugget that you might not have otherwise gotten. So do understand that success leaves clues and that you can learn how to properly monetize this. You just have to have the courage to embrace some of the uncomfortability that comes with profiting from your passion. Because it can be really hard to reconcile yourself with, wow, I'm getting paid to do something I like? That's new. So, again, if that's something that you internally struggle with, this is your guide, this Ikigai, comes from an Eastern philosophy of Japan called reason for being, and so I highly recommend you embrace this. Going back very quickly to AI and automation tools, there are a couple that I can definitely recommend. Adobe was out here with Adobe Podcast, easy audio cleanup, good audio, good audio, good audio, and so very important. There's also opportunities with things like Descript and Gling when it comes to text-based editing. I've actually turned what would normally be 6 hours of editing into 1 hour of editing just using similar text editing tools in Adobe Premiere Pro. Those of you who are not necessarily Adobe people, I would encourage you to look into Gling and to look into Descript, not sponsored. ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help you in a lot of ways. It shouldn't be doing all the heavy lifting for you, but it can be refining a lot of what you do. Some of you struggle with simple things like titles. You could actually tell it, hey, ChatGPT, make this title only 60 characters. I'm not concise enough. Hey, ChatGPT, make my title for a 5th grade or lower reading level so it actually gets traction here in the US. Hey, ChatGPT, I want this to be an active voice instead of passive voice. Hey, ChatGPT, here is my audience avatar. Here are the feelings I want them to have going into this content. Help me craft something with the following types of emotional triggers. Or I want to use this frame, or I want to use that frame. So you can use ChatGPT to help you frame correctly for your audience, position your titles. You can help it in terms of other things. You can do summaries and show notes for your podcast episodes. It can even help you, if you feed it enough information about a guest that you might have, it can help you figure out more questions to ask or even come up with questions that are more aligned to the goals your audience has specifically, just so you know you didn't overlook anything. There are a lot of ways to take advantage of this. Midjourney can be great for a lot of different things. You don't have to use it all for replacing your images. Some of you could literally use it for art direction and see how you might want to light something or how you might want to do a set design. There's a lot of opportunities to use these things. And so there's a lot here. Opus Clip for repurposing, Adobe Firefly is amazing as well. And now we have new amazing things that we're on the bleeding edge of with Sora Video from OpenAI and with Google's DeepMind with Veo and that technology. It's a brave new world. There's a lot of opportunity. I encourage you to explore and play with it. And so before I wrap up and I try to get into some quick questions under the wire, I just wanted to leave you with some quick thoughts on just a monetization strategy, because it's the money thing and I'm the money guy. And the reality is that you can be successful. It's not snake oil, it's not a pipe dream, it's not get rich quick. The reality is that it's never been a better time to be a creator. You can get 1,000 true fans, and all you have to do is create enough value and monetize with irresistible offers. 1,000 true fans with an LTV in 1 year of $100 a pop. Not that much, less than $10 a month. In terms of these offers, that is powerful, that's compelling, that's $100,000 a year. Those of you doing private memberships, you know what a $29 a month membership is? It's $1 a day. It's $1 a day. Are you going to tell me you can't convince your audience that you're capable of creating $1 a day in value for them? If you have a $59 offer, $2 a day in value, how much more utility, what utility can they really get aside from buying more software, aside from buying books, like mine on Amazon? How much utility can they really get out of $30 to $60 compared to what you can do for them by them having more access to you and access to a community of the other people that you attract in the tribe. Think about it. There's not that much more utility that they can get for 30 to 60 bucks. There's not that much. With inflation, there ain't that much stuff they can buy. So, think about it. It's not unreasonable to do this. It's not something that's out of reach for you. It's something that more and more of you could be doing. And with regard to brands, just remember, a lot of you are already making better social media content than them anyway. And you guys come at a fraction of the cost of an ad agency. I know. I used to work at an ad agency. So that's where I would encourage you. Remember, like I said, diversify. This is the slide from the beginning of the presentation for anyone who didn't get to screenshot it. Diversify your income portfolio as a content creator. This is how you achieve the great victory in 2025 and beyond. And so, without further ado, that is it. We will open it for whatever Q&A I have left. If not, I will get any of your questions in the hall. Thank you, and welcome back to Podfest. Year 10, best year ever. Let's get it 2025.
You have time for exactly one kick-ass question. And then though, there's tons of bonus Roberto time out in the hallway. That's what we're gonna call it. Bonus Roberto time out in the hallway. We have one quick question.
One quick question, then it's Roberto time. Let's get it.
I have to reach out to this young lady who messaged me on Kuva 3 weeks ago, like a pro.
Okay.
Stand up. I can't give you.
Hi, my name is Ishora. I'm 9 years old, and I'm a podcaster where I write kids' books, and I also interview the authors and illustrators of the books and give my own insights. But my question is, how do I diversify my own podcast as a child?
Oh, that's a good. So thank you for that question. First of all, everybody, and I mean everybody, has to make a commitment. If they have kids or they know young people or they know parents, all of you here have to go and support our podcast on every platform, and so that's first and foremost. So the first thing you did correctly was coming to Podfest in Orlando and having the guts to ask that question. So again, let's clap it up for her. The courage and honesty of a child, ladies and gentlemen. So your podcast interviews children's authors and goes into children's books. This is wonderful. And this is great because the most important thing is the young mind. And the young mind being curious, intellectually curious, and being bold and unapologetically so. And that's the culture of success that makes America the best country in the world. Sorry to say it, it just is. And so we have to get back to emboldening and encouraging young people, just like, this is Kishara. We have to continue to empower and embolden young people with Kishara. So to answer your question, the thing that you can do is, one, with the help of your parents and the help of your family, you can make sure that you're doing the best that you can to reach out to other people who have a vested interest in your niche around child-friendly and child-safe content. And it's important that your parents be very involved in this so that you're interacting with the right people and that your audience and community is being protected and safe, and that you guys are already building networks and genuine friendships. But you also need your parents to make sure that you're still getting to live your life and that you're still getting to have this best time of your life. Because there's a lot of temptation with young people, social media technology, to where you miss out on a lot and you get caught up in the attention, the opportunities, the praise, the numbers, and there's a lot of people that will push you to do more and more and more. And it's very important for the community, for families, for responsible people to be involved and make sure that doesn't happen. And the thing that I would tell you with regard to your growth is the most important thing you can do is be authentic, try your hardest, do your best. Never, ever let failure hold you back. Understand that failure is the greatest teacher of all. Mom and dad are a close second. but failure is the most important teacher of all, and that you should never, ever let failure discourage you, because you don't really lose, you only learn. And so, everything that you do from here on out, you're going to be ahead of the curve. You have a bright future. We will watch your career with great interest.
Thank you.